Hello everybody, my name is Leo, and one of the most obvious thing you can do with the ToneX pedal is to pair it with an amp modeling pedalboard, like a Latency HX Stomp or a Boss GX100 or a NUX MG30. But then you may have three questions. What about the signal chain and the connections? What about latency? I mean, does it sum up becoming too bad? And how about the many conversion stages and the possible signal degradation? Well, with this video we will try to share the answers. Let's start. First of all, let's talk about the connections. Well, first of all, I would put the ToneX in the effect loop of the HX Stomp, and then I would create a signal chain in the HX Stomp with obviously an FX send and return blocks, where before those blocks I would put my compressions and overdrive pedals, and after I would put my time effects, in order to have a fully digital stereo rig. Basically, the guitar is connected to the input of the HX Stomp, the send and the return of the HX Stomp are sent to the input and output of the ToneX pedal, and finally the stereo output of the HX Stomp are sent to my digital audio interface. Obviously, you can also use the MIDI potentialities of both the devices in order to fully control the ToneX amps with the HX Stomp. So a pretty straightforward, compact and powerful setup, I think. And now let's talk about latency. You know, with this setup you have a lot of signal conversions. Your guitar is converted from analog to digital in the HX Stomp, then it is converted once more in order to be sent to the ToneX. Then the ToneX converts the signal once more from analog to digital and then from digital to analog. Then the signal is sent to the return of the HX Stomp that converts it once more from analog to digital. And then it is converted once again from digital to analog to be sent out to our speakers or our audio interface. At the end, our poor guitar signal goes through many conversion stages. All these conversions take time, and therefore you may be wondering what's happening to the overall latency. In this screenshot you can check out all the test signals I have used. This is the impulse sent to the units, this is the response of the ToneX alone, which takes around 3 milliseconds of latency. This is the response of the HX Stomp alone with the effect loop turned off, which takes around 2 milliseconds, and this is the response I'm getting coupling the two units. The latency is around about 6 milliseconds, which is a pretty good result, considering all the conversions that are happening. Actually, it's even better compared to what I was expecting. Still far from something like the GX100 or the NUX Amp Academy that with many effects switched on are around 1 millisecond of latency. But I think it's still a pretty good value. If you want more info about latency, you can check out my video where I compared 23 amp modeling pedalboards in the card above. Now I will make you listen to my tone tests of a real plexi versus the ToneX alone versus the ToneX in the loop of the HX Stomp in order to check out what is happening to the signal, if it is degrading or not. Basically, I would like to verify if there is any signal degradation in terms of frequency response, dynamic range, etc. Any considerations here? Well, this is actually a great combination. Basically, you are putting your HX Stomp on steroids, adding to it the profiling capabilities of the ToneX. Of course, you can pair the ToneX also with the Boss GX100, having all the Boss effects we love, or with the new XMG30, having a pretty powerful, compact and not so much expensive rig. And with the GX100 or the new XMG30, you are actually even gonna have better latency values. In terms of signal degradation, I was not able to notice anything we should worry about. Today modelers have pretty good converters, and therefore, in order to start hearing serious problems, you have to convert the signal much more times compared to the ones happening with this rig. If you want to be sure by your own, I would recommend you to check out the tone comparison section of this video, especially hearing the last part of the licks, where the direct signal volumes goes down and you start hearing only the noise. I think that when we combine the ToneX with the other amp modeling pedalboards, we are really unleashing the power of this pedal. And if you do some math, well, Quad Cortex is around 1,800 bucks. Let's say Boss GX100 plus ToneX, well, you are around 1,100 bucks. Even less if you pair the ToneX with the MG30. A pretty good value, I think. Please let me know your opinions in the comment section below and see you soon.